welcome ladies and gentlemen. As I do here on this channel, I give you test screening leaks, inside exclusives here, there, when they come my way and I've managed to verify them. I recently did this with Batgirl, I've done it with The Flash, across the years I've done it with so many movies. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the films the people have been reasonably looking forward to, I guess, is Blue Beetle, another DC property. It actually had a test screening fairly recently. Now, I've sat on this. I had this information come my way around the 2nd of December, but I went and, attempted to verify this with some other sources. And what I've got here is essentially, it was a rough cut of Blue Beetle as a test screen. And we know that these things are always a rough cut anyway. The Batgirl stuff was a pretty rough cut as well. And I just want to run by exactly what was in this test screening. Now, take this with a pinch of salt. My track record on these things is fairly high, though. But take it with a pinch of salt regardless. Now, this individual said that it's not a groundbreaking superhero movie by any stretch, but it is entertaining at the very least. It definitely had a late 90s movie vibe, which, you know what? I don't like the sound of that personally, but I know some people will find that endearing. The film itself is catering towards a much younger audience, which makes sense given the lead and the overall aesthetical choices that we've seen with the set leak photos, the costume designs and things like that. It looks to be a younger audience that they're catering for, and that's fine. That's absolutely okay. Now, there is a central theme. It's all about family, so that's good. Now, Susan Sarandon does all she can with yet another lame, generic superhero villain. So the villain's pretty crap in this film, which we've seen recently. It seems to be the biggest drawback to most of these superhero films is the villains. The villains are weak, generic, they're throwaway, they're one film and done. However, the strongest element of the film is actually the lead actor, Zolo Mariduena. I'm butchering that. But he's terrific. He carries the entire film. He's very natural. He's got a lot of charm and charisma on screen. It's that essential wow factor that seems to be missing from, a lot of films in this day and age. The performers are, just generally a different breed as to what they were back in the day. So that's good. That's really, really good. Now, the movie itself will definitely put him on the map. I think a lot of people will see him and go, wow, perfect, great. He's going to get loads of roles from that. George Lopez is hilarious as the eccentric uncle of the family, and every single one of his scenes were a highlight of the movie. Decent action scenes, but from the extremely rough cut that this individual saw, there is going to be a lot of CGI, which is, fairly expected from a film of this genre, but I also think that's one of the major drawbacks of these films in this day and age, is that there is too much CGI and it inflates the budget to insane proportions. And that's why these films die a death at the box office, because you can't recoup that type of money. So I'd say that that's, although expected, is a major drawback, personally. Obviously, that wasn't in the film. There's just sort of stand-ins anyway. So this individual thinks that it's going to look pretty decent, but remains to be seen. The movie itself is kind of like a young Iron Man movie, similar to the structure of the first Marvel film, or the first, MCU film. And they'd also compare it to Upgrade, but obviously a very child-friendly version of that. And that's because of the Blue Beetle suit. The AI takes control of the suit when activated to perform all of the fighting movements. So that's how it is reminiscent to Upgrade, which is a great little film, actually. I love that film. So, you know, a kid-friendly version of that, maybe. There's no appearances from other DC characters, but there was a mention of the Flash from Central City and Supergirl from Metropolis. Now that means Blue Beetle would be in the multiverse, essentially, in terms of the Flash film where Kal-El was killed. And Zor-El was sent to Earth to become Supergirl. But so we don't know, really. This is still unconfirmed at this point. It's kind of guesswork here. And we do know that there's still opportunities for them to change this as well. So we'll see how that goes. But from there, there's not an awful lot else. It was set up with the first cut of the Flash anyway, all of that element. So we'll see if they're going to change it. Now, depending on what was reshot for the Flash, this could change anyway, and we know that they're likely to change that stuff because, you know, you've got James Gunn and Peter Safran moving forwards and overhauling a lot of elements anyway. But overall, look, the film itself, good for like 7-year-olds and mid-teens, apparently, this film. So, a bit of a shame, I think. But they will thoroughly enjoy it, and just overall families will enjoy this film as well. More mature audiences will be moderately amused, and the action scenes and all of the things the Blue Beetle suit can do were pretty cool. So that's the standout. But this individual did state that it's not something they would personally want to watch again, which seems to be a running theme with a lot of DC films, you know, in this day and age, is that they're fine, one and done, but would you want to spend time watching them again? Maybe not. And in fairness, that's the same with Marvel as well, because I get that impression with a lot of Marvel films. But let me know what you guys think of this down below. Again, take this with a massive pinch of salt, very much Iron Man-esque. The Blue Beetle suit is a standout, the lead actor is a standout, he's super cool. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this goes down. But again, take it with a pinch of salt. I have confirmed a lot of this stuff, but when they're test screenings, they do tend to be quite difficult to verify between multiple sources. So this information, take it with a pinch of salt. But cheers, guys. Take care.